Hey, Steve. She talked like Dr. Phil.
It was a hit. Like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Like, I put together your carburetor, and like you playing around in my face, in front of my family, dude. This the thanks we get.
And I bet if you listen to it, it's a lot of like, oh, yeah. Yeah. 100 questions. Loving the 90s quiz, Steve. Prove how much of a 90s
Nice.
child you really are. What I don't like is at one point it says from the old times. Like we're some kind of fucking geriatric fucks. I don't like that. We're back in that other century. But let's see what we do here, Steve. What was the first name of the pink Power Ranger in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
Kimberly.
You got it. In soccer, this is tough because I'm not into it. In soccer, which team won the 1998 FIFA World Cup?
USA.
You degenerate. It was France, Steve. France. And one more for you, Steve. Which singer had a hit with Torn?
Singer had a hit with Torn. Sound like one of them Lil Fair chicks. I don't know.
Possibly.
I'm,
You're getting warmer, I think.
was it the Osborne chick?
Natalie and Bruglia.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Yes.
know if she's Lilith Fair, but yeah, definitely 90s, Steve. So
It sounds like she eats pussy.
yeah, Natalie and
Beautiful tasting pussy. Man, like, would you say Roseanne is the greatest sitcom that's based around a woman?
let's just see what else is out there. We
I
had
Love Lucy.
Designing Women.
Let's reframe that. Golden Girls is my goat, but I would say like around a single comedian, like a
Okay.
sitcom based around a single comedian. She was the focal point of the show.
I mean, it's really this and Brett Butler, Steve. If that's what we're saying.
Grace Under
So,
Fire.
hey, Steve. She talked like Dr. Phil.
It was a hit
It was a hit.
for a minute.
I'm trying to think of any other sitcoms, and I'm a fucking misogynist because I really feel like those. I mean, there's other ones like Grace Under Fire. I feel is one that was that, wasn't it?
Yeah, Grace Under Fire. There was Ellen. There was Mary Tyler Moore, which is I would put that above Grace Under Fire.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm not into that old shit, Steve. So I mean, in the '90s, obviously yes. You know,
For the 90s, yeah. I mean, I was raised around boomers, so I would even throw in I Love Lucy, man.
I mean, if you're throwing in shit like that, I think it's funnier than I Love Lucy. I get why I Love Lucy is so historic and everything, but I don't know. I'm not even a fan of Roseanne that much, Steve.
You not? I love this show.
I mean, it's good, but it ain't like in my top. It's all right. I watched it constantly. I mean, the fam was into Roseanne, Steve. I was watching this on every weekly basis with everybody, but it just didn't. It wasn't hitting like it was for you. Everyone has their own taste.
So it wouldn't be in your top 10 for 90s like sitcoms.
Martin. I mean, I'm throwing in. I'll throw crazy shit above Roseanne. I think Wings is better than Roseanne, Steve. I don't know. I mean, it probably is in the top 10, but it's not close to like the top 5 for me.
Nah, not top 5.
I mean, you might throw a good ass episode of Wings and fucking Lowell gets into your fucking head, Steve. I'm telling you.
Yeah. That's why we've only covered Wings one time. It's so great, right? And I'm not shit. Like Wings is one of those shows. From doing this show, I actually appreciate. Like I could see the value in this. I don't see why it would last like 9 or it was like about 9 or 10 seasons. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
like, y'all could have cut that right off way sooner.
I wonder what it was going up against because it's like, damn, what the hell? This Nantucket Airway fucking sitcom. I mean, what the hell, dude? It was just because they had. I mean, it was a bunch of hottie. It was like one hottie, couple of beefcakes. They had it all the tropes in one show, Steve. They threw it all at the fucking ceiling for white sitcoms. Fat guy, hot guy's brother, idiot, old lady who's sassy, immigrant guy that is kind of
Monk.
sassy. Yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm throwing that. I don't know, Steve. I don't want to get in this argument because I'm trying to be like, well, what else was better than Roseanne? And I'm spacing right now, but it's not in the top 5. I'm giving you a hard stop at that.
I'm putting My Brother and Me above Roseanne. I tell you that.
Hell yeah. I mean, if we're including Nickelodeon, Steve, Salute Your Shorts is above that. Pete and Pete is above. I mean, Pete and Pete's like the best show ever, I guess, if we're just using kid taste. Shit.
Yeah.
MacGyver's better than Roseanne, Steve.
Oh, I'll smoke a bag of that. Yeah. Quantum Leap. Yeah.
Dude, I just watched in full the episode where he becomes a Down syndrome guy. And
You saw
it's,
it?
yeah, I'm retarded. It's so fucked up. It's so great. It's 90s, Steve. They were just trying. And I bet he helps out that guy in some way. I don't remember what he did at the end, but I just remember that look and the amount of coke that they did while writing that must have been insane.
Now take a look at Randy.
Dude, they're doing like key bumps off their hand. They're like, dude, what's the craziest shit you can think of? We're going to write it. I'm telling you. All right.
Oh.
He's going to have Down syndrome. He wakes up, he's got Downs. They're like, there's no way Bakula is going to be down for that. And then they just keep blasting off, dude.
I just caught that pun. There's no way Bakula's going to be down with that. I don't know if that was intentional, but
it was not, but I'll take it. I appreciate it.
Look at Randy. This is Steve G and Mad G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your dead man walking, your dead man on campus. And welcome to season 5 of Happened in the 90s.
Go to hell, Steve. No, don't. I can't believe it, dude. Season 5, dude.
Season 5.
We're about to be syndicated like fucking Roseanne and shit.
5-5, man. Thank you to our faithful 5 who consistently watch our show and listen to our show.
Yeah. Yeah. We know you're out there. And we're at whatever insane asylum or halfway house that you're in, God bless.
Today, my friend, we're talking all things January 2nd in the 90s. Starting off in 1990, Roseanne is airing Season 2, Episode 13, Chicken Hearts. Roseanne tries to improve her relationship with her teenage boss by inviting him home for dinner.
This would be a nightmare. This would never happen. I don't know why you would do this, but this would be my nightmare. And I actually had to kind of live with this where you have like a young person as your boss. I don't know if you ever had to deal with something like that, but it ain't easy, Steve.
Oh, yeah, man. And I wanted to get on this episode, man, because this shows the essence of Roseanne. And like, I think the lore that attracted most of America at this time, man, in 1990. This was, I think, #1 sitcom in America.
I mean, she was everywhere, Steve. She was Michael Jackson for a minute, you know?
The Cosby Show, they were still killing it. But, Roseanne, they were climbing the charts, man. And I don't know if it was at this time they were #1, but eventually they would be the #1 sitcom.
One weird thing that I didn't know about this when I was looking at the credits, did you know that director-writer Joss Whedon, who was like the director of a couple Avengers movies, wrote for this show?
Yeah.
It's so fucking, I mean, that's awesome, but it's bizarre.
So was Norm Macdonald for like a hot second.
That's amazing. We need to find those episodes and see what those are all about.
R.I.P. to that legend.
It's crazy. But yeah, Roseanne was fucking huge, dude. Everybody loved it. They tapped into like that white trash, like not white trash, but it was just basically like normal people. They weren't showing some luxurious lifestyle. Everyone hated each other. They were all kind of ugly. It wasn't the beautiful shit, like step-by-step shit where everyone's like a model and fucking, the worst thing that is like their fridge broke or some shit.
Yeah, every woman coming down the stairs is delicious looking, and they were.
They
They
were.
really
You're
were.
right. You're true.
I mean,
Especially right near the end, Steve. You're right. It was like just
oh,
goddamn the DNA of that family is fantastic.
yeah, and I think the Connors, they were relatable, man. They were working class, and it wasn't your typical sitcom. Like it was a break from the norm because Cosby Show. The big gripe a lot of people had with that show is that it wasn't relatable. Like the mom is a lawyer, the dad is a doctor, they're affluent, kids are going to college, and they got a nice brownstone in Brooklyn. You know, great material, but like we don't live that life. We don't even know people like that.
Well, even like Fresh
We
Prince, it's like it's a judge. It's fucking. They're living in a mansion and shit. There's a relatable character that's coming from something not that, but yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's all they ever did. There was no living in a trailer, living in some house that looks like shit, and having like just exactly what they did. I mean, she was that, and she was like, I mean, she was on SNL and shit. It was just like she got there. But
We
I
knew.
mean, if you, it's like looking at Danny DeVito. You look at that person, you're like, if you didn't know who it was, you'd be like, that person's going to be a movie star. You're like, you fucking stupid. Okay, that's not going to happen. No, Hollywood will not allow that.
Right. There's always an exception, man. But yeah, we all knew some Connors growing up.
Oh yeah, still do. Might be related to some, but it's a good show. I'm not shit talking it, like saying it's a terrible show. I'm just saying in the realm of a top 10 show. It just for me, taste wise. But I do think that this episode specifically, it's got everything that you want in a good Roseanne.
Yeah.
Dan steps up, gets a little tough. Roseanne gets a little sassy. They get to fuck with somebody. The whole family's in on it.
Yeah.
They're all, and it's one of the few episodes I remember or I've seen, where the Connors are full unit. They're not infighting. Everyone's cool, and they're just like, fuck this guy. This guy's a douche.
They're, they're all in unison, man. Nobody wins when the family feuds.
Yeah, nice, nice. I like that. We get all up in this episode, Steve, and Roseanne's getting ready for work, and she's got like 1,000 things to do on a list, Steve. She's going through it. Dan's not giving a goddamn. He's got other shit to fry. He doesn't give a shit.
And
But
then, Dan, I'm gonna have a bikini wax. So what did I just say? Something about turtle waxing your bikini?
God damn. God, she sounds a lot like Nick Nolte when you think about it. She hates her job. She's recently found herself unemployed, got a new gig at a chicken shack, Steve. It's basically KFC in the hood or whatever. It's like Church's Chicken. Kinda.
Pretty much. Yeah, and she works for a little maggot. And Dan suggests, "Why don't you get another job?" Oh yeah, Dan. Which one? They're all taken. Margaret, she's running England. Vanna's spinning the letters. So I mean, what else do I do, Dan?
And she's like, dude, just cook. Okay. I got to go to the staff meeting. You got to do dinner. He's like, I don't know how to fucking cook. She's like, look, this is how it works. And this is a great introductory class into cooking. You take stuff out of the cold box and you put it into the hot box, the oven, Steve. Two steps. You can't fuck it up. She's got to get to this company meeting, which I love, Steve. This is another thing I hate about working company meetings. Bullshit. We all hate them, but sometimes you got to go. She's here, and you're thinking Roseanne's probably got some old crotchety boss or something. No, Steve. It's a pimply faced teenager. It's a slap in the fucking face.
Still in high school, and he's telling them about their appearance. And you need to start coming in with iron shirts, iron pants. Get your mom to do it if you need to. And Roseanne chimes in, "When if your mom has really bad rheumatoid arthritis?" I don't care
uh,
who irons it, just iron it.
yeah. Be clean. People are waiting 5 to 6 minutes for their food. Can't exactly call it fast food, can we, ladies? He's trying to be big dick these people. I couldn't handle this, Steve. This is hard.
And we find out that Roseanne's scheduled to work Saturday, but Per their previous agreement, she's not supposed to work on weekends.
He says, I'm sorry. I gotta have somebody there that's fast. Gives her kind of an up here where he's like, you're one of the fastest employees we got, so I gotta have you on Saturday. She's like, I can't. I gotta fucking work.
Like, that negative attitude is going to get you nowhere. And she was like, this is nowhere. And then he basically tells her, like, you're paid to follow my orders. And then they leave it at that. They come back to Roseanne's house and they're testing out Avon products. One of her homegirls is an Avon sales lady. And they suggest that Roseanne butter Brian up, treat him a little better. And even when Dan comes in, he mimics those same thoughts. Like, hey, you don't have to suck up to him. Just, make them feel important and keep your personal opinions to yourself. So treat him like my husband.
Yeah. And her stepmom's like, also is like, you're one of the most manipulative people I know. She's like, you're a sinister fucking villain. You got this, So I'd quit, Steve, but it might be more fun and juicy and petty just to fuck with this guy for a little bit. But her family's like, come on, make him think you like him, make him feel good, and then fucking get what you want, a little honey.
Play the game. And they keep calling him Little Maggot. I guess that's his alias around the house, around the Connor household. And a side note, that there's a coworker of Roseanne's who's just like a true suck up. He's over there taking notes.
Oh, what's that, Ryan? What temperature? Sure, boss. She also has she has like a buddy that's also kind of like she talks to and stuff. It's not complete misery, but that guy's name's Andrew. He's a douche. We've all had that too. I mean, we've all worked in a place where it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. Have a little bit of dignity. But this is high level chickening, Steve. You never know what you're gonna get.
We cut back to the chicken shack, and that same guy, Andrew, he's just kissing ass. That Mustang, that's a nice one, man. Like, hey, my dad runs a car wash, and if you tell him I'm your friend, then you can get a free car wash. Well, do they air dry it or they use towel? Man, whatever you want, man. Just tell him you're my friend.
I'm not your friend. Then that
Right.
guy just fucking kills himself. But then we cut to later, Steve. Andrew is all calm and cool and collected out front. But Roseanne walks into his little back office and he's like fucking around with this little thing. And he's all verklempt, Steve. He's all worked up. He can't put a carburetor together. And if he doesn't, he's going to flunk shop, Steve.
And if he flunks shop, he loses his job. And if he loses his job, he loses his car. Without his car, he's nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Do you know how many fucking backstage Bettys he gets with that Stang, Steve?
He wasn't getting them with the Stang.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean he is a twat. Roseanne's like, you know what? I know a guy could put a little carburetor together, lickety split, help you out with that, and maybe you come over for dinner because that guy's my husband. And dude's down, but this is a recipe for disaster, Steve. We all know it. We know what Roseanne's all about. It's not going to work out the way you think.
I mean, she had well intentions. She thought everything was going to go fine. He would show some gratitude to getting his carburetor fixed, and she'll get that Saturday off. But she announces that Brian Kamen is coming to visit, and Becky, she's like, "Goofy, doofy ass Brian Kamen." No, my manager Brian Kamen. Oh shit.
You mean
So
ate a
right,
piece of dookie, Brian Cayman? Dookie
yeah.
mouth? So he's being called maggot. Fucking the kids hate him. Brian, this is his only thing, Steve. This power trip he has, it's all he's got. That and that sweet, beautiful Stang that he's got, that's
Yeah.
it.
Right after that, Jackie comes in and she was like, "Wait, your boss, the little maggot, he's coming over? Hold up, Roseanne. I got to stick around for this." And Roseanne, she's just trying to get her out of there. Like, you go to report to work, Jackie.
Go bust another DUI, Jackie. But she's like, I guess you can stay. Brian, the fucking flying Brian's coming over, and we're having his most favorite meal of all. And Jackie's like, "What's that?" And it's just some wieners, Steve.
Wieners.
Just some boiled ass fucking hot dogs, Steve. Hot dog water and all.
Can't go wrong with that, man.
I haven't had that in
American
a long time,
pastime
but you're
snack.
right. You're right, dude.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look pleasant. Jackie's trying to be petty here, Steve. I wouldn't appreciate that. I'll be like, I'm trying to get this fucking weekend off, bitch. Don't fuck this up.
It's ridiculous to go through these links just to get a Saturday off, anyways. But Dan, he's aware of the plan and he's not really a fan of it, man. He's just like, dude, he better bring his own tools. This is gonna be in and out.
Yeah. I had to buy this bullshit ass root beer because this kid can't fucking drink, and I gotta eat these fucking stale ass wieners that we had in the fridge. Shits are like 8 months old. But it's just putting a carburetor together. And for Dan Connor, that's just a walk in the park, Steve. He doesn't give a fuck about that. That's easy work. So whatever's clever. He's trying to help his boo out. So Brian gets there and, he goes to the same school as the kids. I mean, he doesn't really seem to know them. There's some confusion here, Steve.
He sees Becky first and he's like, you look familiar. You go to Lanford, right? Yeah. Fifth period lunch, right? Yeah. And then before that goes further, Dan chimes in. He's like, hey, Dan Connor, nice to meet you. Hey, man, meet me in the garage.
Because we got some weenies on the fucking stove. So let's get it. I need to get this weenie out of my house. So they go into the garage, and this is Dan Connor. So this would be terrifying because I'm like, is this guy going to fucking shoot my ass? He's not coming off friendly, dude. He was like, let's go.
Yeah. He's very demanding. Yeah. So they get in the garage and he just comes straight with them, man. Like, let's talk man to man here. I don't want to be a shop teacher, and you sure as hell don't want to be a shop student. So what I'm going to do is just put this together for you. You take the credit, and yeah, everything cool?
Yes. That's a dream come true for a fucking scammer, dude. I'd be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And I don't have to have this bullshit ass dinner with this fucking family? Hell yeah.
I want to talk to you about my wife. Wait, sir, I've never came on to your wife. And he's
That's
just
what
like,
it was.
Okay, good, good. But what I want to tell you is that, man, my wife cannot work on weekends. Well, I need her. She's the best worker I have. I need her on Saturday. Well, her
Yeah.
job needs her here home too on Saturday.
This
And I
dick
think
needs
they
to
kind
get
of
sucked on Saturday
that part.
morning.
And I think they just leave it at that. Before they leave the garage, Brian does agree with them. He's like, hey, schedules can be changed. So they cut back to Brian, I think later in the evening. He's sitting there talking to the Connors, Roseanne and Dan, and he's just glossing over himself about this stinger. It's like, when I first saw this stinger, man, it was love at first sight. And Roseanne has a little aside to Dan, like, oh, so I guess that's what real love is like.
How much is he getting paid at this fucking chicken job, Steve? I know he's a manager, but to buy a fucking car, I mean, god damn, Brian.
I mean, according to him, all the women are crazy for it too. But that's when Becky comes up and she just got this look like, girls don't like you.
What car? They don't even see that. They don't even know he has that Stang, Steve. They thought that was a cooler kid. You know?
Right. Even in it, like, you're still a goober. But Roseanne, she wants to have a talk with Brian this time. And they go in the kitchen and she's like, I wanted to invite you so that you can see the importance of my family, how important they are to me, and getting the weekend off, how important that is to me. And he was like, well, all right, so you can't work weekends. You can't work Saturday. So I guess there it is. You could pick up your last check. And
God
then
damn.
that's when Dan comes in and he takes it to another level. Like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Like, I put together your carburetor and like you playing around in my face in front of my family, dude. This the thanks we get. I had to do your homework for you, and now you fire my wife. He gets really in his face, man. The kids are there; they're like kind of rooting for their dad. Like, no, beat his ass.
That would be cool, honestly, if he just did. Just a family whoop, like, beat down. But that's crazy, dude. I mean, especially for the shitty job this is. I mean, this is crazy power trip this kid's on. Like, especially now, I'd be like, well, yeah, well, of course you can have the weekend off. Some giant ass dude threatening to whoop your ass.
Yeah, but this scene is why, like, I wanted to cover, man, because like this Dan, like, I don't think you ever really see this in a sitcom dad where they, Heathcliff Huxtable, he might get a little perturbed if Theo cheated on his test or something, but take it to this level, like with Al
Yeah,
Bundy,
uh,
like it was comical with Al Bundy, but like he was serious.
yeah. I mean, Dan actually, it looks like it's like he's gonna throw an ass whooping on somebody. I mean, with Carl Winslow, just like kind of cool dicked it, in the episode we watched with fucking
OGD,
OGD. Yeah, there was no like physicality to it, but hell yeah, dude. And this version of John Goodman, like this is a legit, like I'd be fucking freaked out if this guy hulked up on you like this.
hell yeah, and I love like because there's a bit of reality with the comedy. I mean, obviously it's a situational comedy, man, but the realism and like in 1990, this was like fresh to us, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. And the episodes where Dan gets intense are the best episodes. I think if you look
Yeah,
at all the top ones, this is probably something that happens in all of them. Um, but now, I mean, what do you do? She's out of job. Dan almost whooped this kid's ass in front of the family. And Brian's like, you know what? You're a good employee, but your attitude sucks. He should leave at this point. Just get out of the
yeah.
house before you lose your life, kid.
Like we spared you, man, and you still talking shit. But on his way out, Dan's like, you know what? You don't want to leave your carburetor, and it's just taken apart. And then I think Becky, she gives him the coil springs, and then Darlene follows that up with your secondary, whatever the hell that means. I don't do cars.
What is a
Roseanne,
carburetor, Steve? What the fuck is that?
shit. Let's call Dan Connor.
Hell yeah, dude. But you know what? Fuck it. You don't want to give away your dignity to work at KFC. That's a lesson to anybody. If you got a fucking job like this and a boss like that, leave. You don't need to be there. So at least she didn't have to go to work. She knows like it's over now. Just get that last check and you're good, Roseanne. So later, Dan, Roseanne, they're killing a bottle because that's what you do after you get fired. They're on the couch, just chilling.
In there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Roseanne's like, this is a new low. I got fired by Opie. That's just fucked up. And that's really what happened, Steve. You know what happened after this episode, Steve? He lost that car. He tried to race pink slips, lost it, and then it's over. It's like Samson with the hair, Steve. As soon as he lost that sweet stang, all any chance of getting some pussy, it's gone. He's
He
the
never
mop boy at the chicken shack.
at
Smoking the
Clucky's.
pipe. Yep, smoking a pipe. Sucking dick for meth money, Steve. That's how it all. We've seen it 1,000 times.
Hard times, man. Classic episode of Roseanne. I even like the subtle theme song. It hasn't gone fully hardcore yet with the theme song. It's just really just it's at a even tempo, even volume.
This is it. I just think that it's funny that the most memorable part. I mean, it's a memorable theme song in general, but just her laugh in the intro is like one of the most like iconic '90s noises that you can think of. If you were there, you would know that instantly.
Oh yeah. It always makes me think of like a southern like stripper song. I don't know.
Oh wow. That'd be
Dun,
if you're in a
dun,
if you're in a strip club and
dun.
they're playing a Roseanne theme song, Steve.
It has that
Oh,
kind of twang to it. I
ew,
feel
dude.
like dun, 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 dun.
Dude, there were some people just
Uh,
railing to that theme song in the '90s, though, just getting fucking crazy with it, slapping it to fucking that song. So it happened. I love that.
Hey man, it's the vibes. Somebody who probably didn't watch this in 1990 is probably American film and television actor Alan Hale Jr., better known as the skipper to The Millionaire and His Wife.
Fucking the
He
skipper.
stars.
What did you think of that show, Steve? What do you
It's
think
a
of
great
Gilligan?
show. Gilligan, man, as a kid, man, I love that show. Me and my grandma would eat that up, man. And like I think last couple years I've heard about this conspiracy around Gilligan's Island, which makes me more interested. Each character is supposed to represent the different deadly sins.
Okay, little buddy. Okay, that puts a whole new. I gotta watch Gilligan's Island now. It sounds like a Lost episode.
I mean, no, that's the conspiracy behind the whole like concept. Like they're actually in hell, and like each of them represent the seven deadly sins, man. But
That's
yeah,
crazy. Hell yeah. Well, shout
yeah,
out to the skipper. Rest in peace. I don't know if what you said's true, but it's a hell of a fucking conspiracy theory or theory in general. I love that.
that following year, 1991, Sharon Pratt Dixon becomes the first African American woman mayor of a major city and the first woman mayor of the District of Columbia.
What year was this?
This was 1991. So she took over after Marion Barry, and she was succeeded by Marion Barry in 1995. If you
Only
ever
in
want to know,
America.
yeah, who was the substitute for Marion Barry before and after, it was Sharon Pratt Dixon.
She did it though. She served her time. It's kind I always wonder like why what is that like? Cuz DC is so small. It's like and it's all federal government shit. So like what is your job? It's like just keep it clean near the White House, okay? That's it.
Yeah, make sure winos don't get close to Pennsylvania Avenue.
Like I mean Marion Barry was smoking crack, Steve. I mean, how hard of a job could it be? You know, I'm not this is no disrespect to the lady, but I'm just saying. Feel like the New York City mayor, that's a tough job. DC, all you got to do is hide a couple of hooker bodies that the politicians killed. You know, that's really all you got to do.
Smoke crack, get your job back. In 1994, The Mighty Jungle debuts on the Family Channel, and this is ridiculous. I only wanted to bring this up because of the premise. It starred Francis Guinan as Dan Whitfield, a family man who is the only one who knows that the animals in his backyard zoo can speak. And the voices include Tony Danza and Delta Burke. Tony Danza plays a fucking crocodile.
Oh my god, Tony Angela. Okay,
Moaner. If that's
what
not worth
the
my money,
hell?
I don't know what is. And pardon me, it's not a crocodile. He's an alligator. He's the voice of an alligator. So imagine an alligator with Tony Danza's voice. Like, come on now. How did this not last? How long did it last? One season, 26 episodes.
What the? They got 26 episodes out of this, and
Delta
Tony
Burke.
Danza.
Delta Burke is a toucan. Come on. They could have squeezed more
Duke
episodes out of this.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. They could. What was the premise again?
He's a zookeeper and he has like a zoo in his backyard. He's a family man and he's the only one that knows that the animals can talk. So it's kind of like some 90s Mr. Ed shit, but with
It's
different
like Doctor
animals.
Doolittle. Isn't that Doctor Doolittle, Steve?
Could the animals talk in that? I
I think
never
he could understand the animals, so they were talking to him, maybe. But salute. They got fucking Tony Danza.
playing an
They got
alligator.
the yeah, dude. You didn't even get to see the fascia, Steve. Just his vocals. That's crazy. I mean, shame on you, Disney Channel.
No, Family Channel.
Family Channel. There was nothing really great coming out of that, though, Steve. That was just kind of a. That
Yeah.
wasn't good. That's like the 700 Club channel, you know? It's like Christian TV and that.
We never watched the Family Channel. Had I known this hidden gem was there, I would have at least chimed in.
Shit. I see Tony Danza. I'm signing up. I'll at least give it a watch. For sure.
Moaner.
Angela, I'm an alligator now.
I used to box. You remember Taxi? That following year, 1995, Sybil debuts on CBS. A struggling middle-aged actress attempts to make a career for herself, all while surrounded by her hard-drinking best friend Marianne, her two former husbands, and her two daughters. 4 seasons, 87 episodes.
My
in my
parents
eyes.
definitely watched this show for sure, for sure. I tuned out obviously, but Sybil's sexy. I mean, you know, at the
She
time
was.
she was a nice little tenderoni, Steve.
She was on that show with Bruce Willis back in the day. Was it Moonlighting?
Moonlighting. Yep.
Yeah, so she was fire, man, and it could have went longer, but she was a part of that less Moonvis scandal, I guess. According to her, in an interview, she said that he invited her to a private dinner and he complained that his wife didn't turn him on and some mistress didn't turn him on. And then he invited her to come home with him. She refused. And quite shortly after, the showrunner started getting executive notes forbidding them to discuss topics like menstruation and menopause that were previously fine. And soon after, the show was canceled. And this was one of the many accusations of sexual misconduct and assault against Moonvis. How do you pronounce his fucking name?
I
Les
think it.
Moonves?
I think it's Les Moonves. Like
Moonves?
I think
Yeah.
it's phonetics, but that's wild. So it's basically she got blackballed because she got fucked with, and Les
Yeah. And she
Moonves.
didn't.
But Les Moonves, refresh my memory. He's like the super Uber producer. What was he involved in? Like
He was the
movie
guy
wise.
running CBS.
Okay, that's what it
He
is.
was,
Well, I mean, this
yeah.
seems to be the MO, Steve. I mean, this. I guess this was like before the Me Too shit. I guess Sybil got Me Too'd a little bit, you know. But the show was not. I mean, for us '90s guys, this was not the show we were going to watch anyway. This was a Murphy Brown type show, like we said. That's why I got confused.
Yeah. You want to hide something from these 90s kids? Put it on CBS network.
Yeah,
We sure as hell won't find it.
CBS. I'm going to go play with my guys here. I'm going to be doing a little ninja battle here. I'll be over here.
Yeah, I'd rather play with myself than watch that. But the nanny,
Yeah.
watching that show, I mean, I think what the driving force is that Fran Drescher was hot. She's like hot, bro. Like everything, like that voice. It might be a turnoff for some people. We're getting sidetracked, but like, goddamn, I watched this show.
I mean,
She's
I'm
great.
not hating on it, Steve. I think she's fine. The
Man,
voice. I mean, you can have that. Fran Drescher. Steve loves you. There you go. She's the
get the
flashy
juices
girl
all
from
in one.
Flushing, Steve. I mean, and you hear it too. I bet she's a screamer, Steve. It's gonna sound weird.
I'm here for it. 1997, Alex Mack is airing season 3, episode 20, The Creeper. Alex's attempts to be nice to a mentally disabled boy in her class backfire when he perceives the friendship as something more. Meanwhile, Ray helps Dave pass his driving test.
Man, this is this show.
Whoa.
As weird as I remember this show, this episode, Steve, I don't know. First of all, the guy they're calling the creeper, it's a complete misdirection because there's another creeper in this, more sinister, that I'd like to point out when we get to it. But it's Alex Mack. The woman's superpower is I forgot the electricity element, but she got doused with chemicals, became some sort of liquefied puddle. That's her power. But she also can control electricity or generate a lightning bolt. I don't know. It's
And turn
stupid.
into splooge.
Yeah, it's a fun power. They're like, can you fly? No, you're invisible. Kinda. Watch. And it was like, it's a jizz puddle for real. I mean, it's that. She becomes a cum shot, and that's probably going to get some tumors or something because of all the exposure to those chemicals, Steve. I'm worried for her. But Alex, we're in class, Steve. She's a regular kid. She goes to school and she's in video class, which shit, I wish I had this. I didn't know that existed. She's just getting kudos from the teacher, you know? She's great at this video stuff.
Her assignment is to do a bio. That's what the whole class is supposed to do, like a video bio. And her project is on her mom. And we start the episode off with her interviewing her mom. And when we cut back to class, he's loving it. The teacher's just like, "Oh, this is a great piece of work, Alex."
Camera work? My God. Ray, her friend, he was in some other shit. I can't remember. I can't tag everything this dude was in, but Ray's her black friend. And he's hanging out with a guy in class who looks double his age. I don't know what the fuck how many times this kid's been held back, but he looks
Lewis.
30. Yeah, they're yucking it up. And in walks this kid, Nathan, Steve. Nathan, he's a little weird. He's just shy. He's just looks meek. And he walks in, and the other guys start fucking with him, and they call him the creeper, Steve. That's not nice.
Creeper.
Hey, creeper. He sits down. He's getting fucked with, and that's not cool, guys. You know, creeper. Yeah. What they're calling mentally disabled, I feel like is not. I don't know what this is, Steve. This is a light disabled. You know, he's just shy, I feel like.
Yeah, maybe he's just shy, and they prey on that because that's what bullies do. They prey on the meek, and
Yeah.
they sense that, man. And mind you, this predates Columbine, this episode. So I don't know.
These
Maybe if this would have aired after,
yeah, yeah. Alex would have needed a lot more powers to overcome whatever happens with Nathan then. But you know, they're lightly ribbing this kid. They're calling him the creeper. We don't really get it. They're just being assholes. So we cut later, and Annie, hot older sister, she works at the chemical company. Steve, the I forget what it's called, but it's just a chemical company. The one that almost killed her sister and turned her into cum. And I think, is she working with her dad?
it looks like it. Yeah, because that is their dad.
She's dealing with some high level chemical stuff, Steve. It's crazy. She's in there. She's high up, but they're chilling. They're having some lunch. And Dave, the truck driver, we see it's this guy, and he's basically having a meltdown. He's losing it. He's in tears.
Yeah, he's going to lose his job because he needs to take his driver's test again, and he's kind of shell shocked from even getting behind the wheel because of a previous accident he had.
Now, here's where I want to just ask you this. Do you think, is he responsible? Is he the irresponsible driver that may have given Alex Mack her powers?
I'm not familiar with the story completely because I didn't check for it. I mean, I watched it when if it was on like before all that or something, but like I'm not too privy to the story, man.
I'm just wondering because she was almost killed and chemical. We see it in the intro, Steve. Some fucking chemicals just fall off a truck because some guy's driving like a fucking piece of shit and they almost kill her, douse her with the chemicals. And I'm just sitting here doing some thinking maybe stupid Dave, fucking, speed happy Dave, maybe he's the guy who almost, who turned Alex into this mutant, you know?
It, and he could be, and that might be why Annie's so apprehensive about Dave because at the beginning of this episode, Annie's just like on some fuck Dave shit. Hey Ray, I saw you talking to Dave. What the fuck? Hey man, you ain't supposed to talk to him. He the ops. He the other side. What the hell wrong with you,
He
Dave?
big
Ray?
chemical. I'm just in here infiltrating, Dave. Yeah, because Annie knows about Alex Max, Steve. She knows. She's seen her turn. She knows about the powers. So she's plugged in. She's trying to get some. Maybe she's trying to get some inside info, and she got an internship with her dad working with some chemicals. But who knows? But we're back in video class now. This is the only class in school, apparently. We don't see anything else, but it just seems like a pretty easy curriculum. Nathan's just getting it again. He's the punching bag of video class, which is hilarious because that's typically the nerds. So it's just it's nerd on nerd violence at this point. But Alex does a little zips a guy for doing it and gets him to stop. So Alex, you can see she's trying to be like she's the anti-bully here. She doesn't necessarily like it, but like most kids, she's not really speaking up. She's just giving a little zip.
Yeah, gave him a little zap on the behind, and the teacher's turned around. He's not seeing any of this, but he hears a book drop on the floor, and he was like, "Whose book is this?" And it's Alex's. So because it was Alex Mack's book, he gives her detention. He just assumes that it was her fucking around.
Like, isn't that a little rash, though? I mean, I dropped a book. What kind of fucking Nazi regime do we got here? No noise, detention. I just got an A from you, motherfucker. This is
Yeah,
fucking Hollywood Alex. I'm here.
the hell is wrong with you, man? You just told me to my face how great my assignment was, but I
Yeah.
digress.
But she doesn't, because the guy who should have gotten in trouble was the ugly redhead kid. Fucking whatever
Yeah,
his name is. Fucking Red Rooster.
Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis, dude. Lewis is a little twat. We'll get to see that later. But she's a fucking G. She takes the detention. She's like, whatever. One detention, that's easy work. Take me to jail.
And we cut back to Dave now. He's sitting at the bus stop, and Ray he walks by, and we get the story. Like Ray just asked him, like, dude, so what happened? His license was suspended because he ran over a kid and ruined the transmission on the company van, and he hates tests. He feels so alone now. He has to take the bus, and Ray's about to leave. He's like, man, I'll holler at you. No, dude, please don't leave me, please.
Dude.
I I could use moral support.
Take some
Mm,
testosterone pills or something, dude. Like this is pathetic, Dave.
yeah.
And especially a '90s teenager, what you or I see that, be like, man, what the
Fuck, dude. Dude, peace, bro. All right,
yeah,
man.
I gotta go, dude. I'm sorry, but I gotta go, dude. I gotta go play Goldeneye with the homies right now. I'm sorry about all these issues, but it's like, dude, just take the fucking driving test. You're at a bus stop, losing it, trying to confide in a teenager. This is where I'm like, what's this Dave guy's deal? He's a little too comfy with teenagers, Steve. I don't like that.
Yeah. I don't think you should be getting a license again, Dave. Like, it's probably best that you just, sit at the bus stop and get rides, public
Yeah.
transportation.
Maybe you just decide to go work at a chicken shack. For what Steve said, he ran over a kid. So, Dave, I don't think you should have a license, to be honest with you. I don't think you're equipped. You're
Yeah.
clearly a little unstable.
Yeah, he's unhinged, man. Now that Alex is in detention, Lewis feels a certain way, so he gives her an IOU. Like, you took the rap for me, so like, hey, I owe you one. Cash it in anytime. Money in the bank.
I would have put something dirty on it, like a 1 foot rub. But Lewis is a nice guy, Steve. Even if he is a red, she has to eat this detention. She goes in, and basically, as she's going in, or as she's talking to Lewis, the creeper walks in. So she's got to share a detention with the creeper, you know. And what did he do, Steve?
I guess he gets a detention every time he doesn't change his clothes in PE, and I guess that's every day because he doesn't want to change his clothes. So I guess he just gets regular detention. I
What
feel
kind
so
of
bad for
school?
Nathan.
Yeah, dude. What kind of school is this? About detention? I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. Nobody wanted to change in front of each other at a certain point. I
Yeah.
mean, like that was my experience, but Nathan, Alex, they're in detention. Nathan's obviously shy, so Alex is just fucking around with like equipment, like doing TikTok dances in front of a camera, basically, Steve. I think she's singing
Yeah.
bingo.
Yeah. And we find out that Nathan has a hidden talent. He can play that piano pretty well, man. And she's like, "That's really good, Nathan. Like really, really good." Oh, now she's singing bingo. I'm hard now.
Thank you. You're nice, Earth female. Nathan doesn't talk to people a lot, but Alex is cool. The teacher actually just leaves them alone, and like this is not a detention, Steve. This would have been
Yeah.
great. I would have loved this when I got detention. I had to have some old guy just fucking leer at me for an hour. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The guy that apparently he was like a pro golfer or some shit that they always said.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's why you're doing this. Sure. We cut to Ray and Dave now. Ray and Dave are just homies now. I don't get this. Ray, I don't get it. You're in danger because I think Dave's fucking a child molester. But I'd like to ask the people who created Alex Mack, is Dave responsible? So let's just throw that out there. But Ray offers to do like a ride along with Dave. And it's like, dude, are you trying to get fucking abducted, bro?
Yeah,
He has
dude.
a truck, dude.
A van, I think, at that.
I mean, this is not a good look. But as he's doing this ride along, Annie sees Ray. She sees him hanging out with Dave. And I think that's where you said that she kind of confronts him about it at some point. This is where she sees him and she's like, oh
Yeah.
shit. Ray's in the fucking, he's in the wallet of big chemical now. He's hanging out with Dave. Fuck that.
And we cut back to Lewis, and he's making a video of himself because he already announced that his video is going to be called "Me, Myself, and I,"
Yeah.
and he's prompting like I guess he works at the cafe, at the like, local hangout, and he's telling his coworker, he's feeding her the lines basically, and she's like, "Lewis is fun loving. His attitude makes me look forward to work." And then while that's going on, Nathan walks into the video. "Four bear claws, por favor."
Thank you so much. And he's pissed because he ruined the shot. And basically, what I think Lewis is trying to shoot is like the Dirk Diggler documentary, but about him, where eventually it's
Yeah.
just him in like sunglasses. Like, basically, I'm just the best. This is Lewis. Thank you. Good night.
He's doing karate moves by himself.
Yeah, but fucking Nathan's can't help it. Everything he does attracts attention. He ruins Lewis's shot. He orders 4 bear claws. Just that I'm fat. I would be like, dude, what the fuck is this kid doing? 4 bear claws, Nathan. He's a,
Man, yeah, he's just
he's
unhinged
a
too,
nerd.
man.
He's a nerd, Steve. He is. There's some people that just like attract the bad attention, and Nathan is that. There's nothing wrong with him. He's not
Yeah.
mentally disabled. He's just weird.
He just has his quirks. I think the real creeper is Dave, to be honest with you.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Me and Kendra watched this. I'm like, Dave, the creep of this episode is Dave. Because he's begging a teenager to be like, please don't leave me. Please. Like, Dave, you
What?
fucking creep. Stop this.
Oh,
He should not have his job. But then we cut. And this is where I like Ray, dude. This is where I'm like, Ray, I like this guy because he's got a job, he's got a paper route, and he's giving this training like lesson to this kid, just a new jack on the paper route. You know, he's like, this is how you throw it. You know, side, avoid dogs, don't hit windows. You're gonna be fine, kid. Let me see your
yeah.
form. He's a good guy, Steve.
The flick of the wrist. And as he's doing that, Annie walks in and she's like, "Look, Ray, I got to talk to you. You can't be spending time with your new friend. You know who I'm talking about. We can't trust him. Dave."
Do you look at the crime watch online? Do you know what Dave's guilty of? This motherfucker's been arrested 8 times for this shit. This ain't the first time, Ray.
I saw him bring lunch in to work one day. He eats raw chicken, Ray.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. He licks bananas before he opens them. It's weird. But Ray's like, man, it's just Dave. All he did was give me these mints that made me tired a little bit. That's it. That's all I
Man,
can remember.
I
That's
woke up a
all.
little sore. Right after that, Ray he goes and tells Alex about what's going on, and so they're walking, they're talking, and Nathan he's sitting there just eating these bear claws. As they walk by, he turns around and he records. I guess he just has a camera just ready.
This is really problematic, Steve. I don't like this. This is serial
Yeah.
killer 101.
Now this
I
is
bet.
creepy.
Yeah. And I bet if you listen to it, it's a lot of like, oh, yeah.
A dribble coming down the screen.
Yeah. It's a little bit of shaking, like, oh.
I was with you, Nathan, up until this point. This is not good.
You can't do this. And I feel like now you get your ass whooped. But Nathan, he's creeping. He really is. He's creeping good because nobody sees him. So next day, we're back in video class, Steve, because that's a thing. Here's what I just want to ask. Like every day they're showing one of these videos. What is this class other than this? What's video class, Steve?
Video bios. Now do a video bio on someone else.
Yeah, like, here's the camera, kids. Hey, you just gotta show me. I want to see your work. Like, I don't see what this guy's teaching. I think he's just getting an easy check. But it's time for Nathan to show his. And this is supposed to be a bio about you, Steve. But you
Yeah.
know, Alex got away with it for doing one about her mom. We think we're gonna see Nathan, the documentary, but it's not that, Steve. It's basically an Alex Mack like hype video. Just like Alex Mack is one of the hottest chicks of all time. Look at her. Look at this. And Alex is like, yo, what I'm showering in this video. Look at her soft, supple skin.
Yeah,
It's
his verbiage is very creeper too. So you're losing points, man. Hopefully this episode ends before, you're thrown into the dumpster, Nathan. But the most beautiful nifty girl, she wears pants, dresses, and clothes. She moves with the grace of a deer. And she's very funny too. Bingo. Like,
yeah. He even stole the video she did. I guess she didn't know this camera was on, but Nathan got that video, edited that in. So Alex is pissed, basically. You know, she's seeing people laugh because she's looking a little bit goofy. Also, probably inside is like, yo, this guy was taping me. Like, I was like, I didn't even know where he was. He was in a bush, I think. The
yeah,
fuck?
how did you get the bitch
Predator
turns
shit.
orange?
Yeah, dude, she gets embarrassed. It looks like she has kidney disease from the color. I'd send her to the nurse, but Nathan, again, you've gone down in Steve's opinion. You're in garbage town in Alex Mack's opinion. She hates you now. Fuck you.
And she cusses him out. What was that all about? I'm so embarrassed. I want to move. Why'd you do that? I should have never been nice to your dumb ass in the first place. You embarrassed me in front of the whole school. Just the class, Alex, not the whole school.
You are a freak. Bitch, you turn into cum.
You should be thankful he didn't get footage of that.
Cut to the chemical company again, Steve. Big Chem. And Annie overhears Dave talking to somebody on the phone, and he's super happy. He's got his new friend Ray. He's talking to somebody on the phone. He's like, dude, this Ray kid, he's opened up my mind. He makes me feel like I feel like a man again. It's like, dude, Dave needs to be arrested right fucking now, dude.
Where's
Annie,
Chris
call
Hansen
the
when you need him?
cops. Yeah, dude, that's fucked up. Dave's into Ray. I don't know. He's calling people, and he'll be even happier if he passes that driving test. He'll get a raise, and he'll be able to pay for somebody's hip replacement. I'm assuming it's his mother. I didn't catch that, but this is where we see like the sad side. He's a little broke. He's trying to help people out, possibly trying to maybe quell some demons inside of him that make him want to touch kids. Who knows? But he's going through it, you know.
Send some money to his family, and Annie hears this, and she has a change of heart now because she looks at him as a person now.
Yeah, yeah. Because he made a phone call. He wasn't even talking to anybody, Annie, dummy. He's just trying to get you to think he's a good person. But then we cut to the donut shop, because the donut shop apparently in this show is like the juice bar in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's the hangout. It's the chill. And the
The
owner's
Max.
very cool. She's kind of like an older lady. She's friendly with all the kids. Alex is eating her feelings. She's eating a crawler because she feels embarrassed. She sees the creeper coming in because this guy it's a daily order for this kid. He's got to have a bear claw. She turns into a puddle of cum, goes under the seat, the booth. He orders it and leaves. But I think Nathan saw her do that, Steve. I'm saying that right now. I just don't think he says anything.
Well, he saw her under the table. Like she turned into cum and got up under the table, and then like
But I think
she
he saw
noticed.
her turn into cum, Steve. That's what I'm saying. I think he saw it and was just like, hey, Alex, I know you're cum. I
Okay,
think I'm putting that out there. But then we cut to Ray, and his trainee is killing this paper game. He might be the best, Steve. With Ray's training, he will be. This is where Annie tells Ray, I think, about her change of heart. She's like,
yeah.
look, maybe he isn't weird. I don't know. I heard him on the phone. I was wrong. But I got to be honest with you, Annie. You weren't wrong. You were just wrong for the reasoning. You just didn't know who Dave really was. You know?
Yeah, thank God. Then we cut to Dave, and he gets a telegram. I guess this is the 90s, so he gets a telegram from Ray, and Ray says that he got transferred and he won't be able to make it to Dave's driving test. So now Dave's back to being in the dumps. Like, oh, I won't have my moral support. Oh.
Ray! Telegram, though? What the fuck is that? Send a Pony Express message to Dave. Stop. I'm not going to be there. I can't be your friend anymore. Stop.
Yeah.
That's weird.
1890s or what?
Yeah, but he's in tears again. God knows if he can pass that test. He's in shambles. But cut to Nathan's house. Alex shows up, and she's feeling kind of shitty about what she did. She called him a freak. She hid his cum under a table to avoid him. And she knocks on the door, and eventually Nathan opens up the door. And again, this is a situation where, maybe you can open the door normally, or you can open it in a full Indian headdress. That's kind of weird. Does he have a shirt on?
I can't remember. I was just thrown off by the headdress, and like that took all of my attention because she asked him like, "Why are you wearing the Indian thing?" That's how she refers it, and he's like, "Well, it's fun." That's all he says. It's like, bro, you're not doing yourself any favors.
I mean, yeah, dude. And she's like, well, that's neat. And that's it. That's all. And Nathan basically, he just shuts the door on the bitch, Steve.
But she does tell him that, I apologize and you're actually a neat person, but I do think it would have been better had you told me beforehand that you were going to do this bio on me. A decent heads up that would have sufficed. And he just doesn't know what to do with that information. So he just stares at her awkwardly as he only knows how to do. And then that's when he shuts the door. And now it's Dave's time to test. But he's stuck on the P and the R. He can't get between the P and the R. Like I'm telling you, Dave should not have a license.
Dude, I mean, there are multiple red flags for the chemical company. Just give him a job on the line, maybe. Just not where he can directly run kids over like he just did. But they're allowing him to take this test. And I gotta say, you can see where maybe he'd run into some problems because he's rolling these cones. He's really Johnny on the spot, but he's a little fast for my taste. I don't like
But
that.
like at first he didn't want to take the test, but the crazy thing about it, all it took was Ray showing up. Ray shows up, he's like, fire it up. Yeah, let's give it a go. Like, Dave, you are a weirdo, bro.
Yeah, dude. This kid he just needs Ray around. He's like, you're my lucky charm, Ray. You can't go. I gotta go to college, man. Like, what's going on? No, you can't. You can't.
Can't, Ray.
Fucking John Lennon's his ass, Steve. Dave's a problem. There's a lot of problems in this town. I don't like where Alex Mack's a freak. She's been chemically fucking changed by a chemical company that I gotta think from the lax like rules and hiring policies they have. They're probably dumping chemicals into the water supply too. So there's a lot of red flags in this show.
Considering she's a mutant, she seems like she's the most normal person in town. Well, her and Ray.
And Annie's chill, Steve. Let's not bring
Annie's
Annie
chill.
into the freak club. She maybe prevented a child molester from being arrested, but that's neither here nor there. Alex actually, after we see Dave kill the driving test, we cut to the donut shop again, the juice bar, if you will. And Alex calls in that IOU that Gross Lewis, gave her. They have some work to do.
Yeah.
Cue that montage, Steve. You're the best. And actually, after she calls it the IOU is when we see Dave just get fast and loose with it and kill that fucking test. So he's back. And then we cut to the video class. So Alex, she's done some shenanigans. She's worked a little magic. She's worked with Lewis. And Lewis gets up because it's time. This whole episode, Lewis has been getting shit from the teacher. Like, dude, you got to see this video.
Yeah.
I don't got all day. You got to show it. So now Lewis, he pops that tape in. But before he does, he's like, the production spiraled out of control. I was going to do sort of a tasteful nude scene. Everything went to shit. But I did mine about somebody else. So let me throw this in. And he did his about Nathan, a.k.a. the creeper, Steve. But now we get to see the other side, the better side.
Yeah, I mean, they tried hard, man, to put a positive spin on this, but they're doing these close-ups of Nathan, and for one, he's dropping things in the first scene, and then another scene, he's wearing a football helmet, riding a bicycle that has like a basket on it, and like I think a flag was like, yeah, so it wasn't a flattering look, but he does give a decent narration because he's like, you know what, if you're quiet long enough and really listen, he might actually surprise us. He doesn't have a problem being himself, being by himself. And, he's taught me that being unique is having a style all your own.
Maybe he's not so weird, Steve. Maybe
No, that
we're the
motherfucker weird.
weird ones. Yeah, dude. You guys
That
don't
motherfucker
know.
weird.
He's very weird. Maybe dangerous at a certain point. But the video itself, standing ovation, Steve. It's like
Standing
Oscar
O.
worthy. A standing ovation. Even the kid who looks like he's in Bone Thugs and Harmony.
And I'm a smoke with shadow.
This video dumb actually be gone. Dude, but yeah, dude, I mean it's a hell of a biopic, Steve. And Nathan, instead of being the creeper, now he's this is a turning point for this kid. This might be
Yeah.
where he goes. He becomes the team captain of some team. I don't know. Maybe he's a football star. God knows.
Maybe I won't kill everyone in this class.
Yeah, he's just he fucking takes a couple names off the list.
Yeah.
But TBD, because shit, the dude's coming out of his house in a Native American headdress. Shit's only gonna get worse from here, Steve. You know?
Yeah, that boy ain't right. But I mean, for what it's worth, man, it's a good episode. We never really talk about this show. This is our first time talking about Alex Mack. And, because I watched it at some point in the 90s, we're like, man, let's give her a shot. It's a
It was just like a show that was a show to get to another show. There's a lot of
Yeah.
those where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this because after this, Are You Afraid of the Dark's on? Or some other great show that we wanted to watch. But this, I was never a huge fan. But shout out to Alex Mack, dude. You were one of the first superhero mutant kids. And while you may have almost been killed by a kid who is weird, you had a show on Nickelodeon. So salute to you.
1999, The Jersey debuts on the Disney Channel, and it would air for 3 seasons, 64 episodes. And this is a show I feel it missed us, man. If it was earlier in the decade, we might have latched on to it because the concept itself is cool. It's kind of like a kid's quantum leap. The
Okay.
the show had several athletes, and basically the jersey, the importance of the title, you put on a professional ball player's jersey and you become that person. And they would have
Damn.
guest stars from Michael Andretti, Terrell Davis, David Robinson, Tony Gonzalez, Shannon Sharp, Donovan McNabb, Tim Couch, Michael Strahan, Kurt Warner, Stephon Marbury, Jerome Bettis, Cordell Stewart, Junior Seau, Scott Steiner, Booker T, Eddie George, Randy Johnson, Tony Hawk, Layla Ali, Peyton Manning. So that right there is cool enough, man. And like I said, if we were younger, I think I would have watched it. But
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
1999, we were what, 15, about to be 16 at this point. So it's like, yeah, Disney Channel
Yeah,
shows.
there ain't no titties in that. But yeah, I mean, sports shows back in the day, I was all over those. So anything like this, that sounds fucking amazing. Especially if you get the real athletes. That's dope as fuck. I like, did they play the sport or something when they put that jersey on, or like, you know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
assuming so. Yeah, like
hmm,
I think all of them are available on YouTube, and I was meaning to check it out, just didn't have time, man. But like I said, I think that's a really cool concept, man. If I was like 7 or 8 or something, they were doing this with Michael Jordan and Shaq, and yeah, like the guys from
dude,
that
bet
time, like, dude,
fucking the bus, dude. Fucking become the bus. Love
they
that
had your
shit.
boy.
I
Yeah.
actually got a Cordell Stewart jersey from my mom and dad's when I visited this weekend, so I could have popped that on. I could have became
Oh,
Slash. You're telling me?
yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah, dude. Dude, I got to be honest. We did miss out on that. That sounds cool as shit.
So yeah, shout out to the Jersey, man.
The idea of that show, but it's like more adult athletes. Like, I put on Lawrence Taylor's jersey, man. Shit got weird, dude.
I haven't slept in 5 days.
I just
Why do
ran
I have
through
this
a
do rag
wall,
on?
man. Yeah, dude, that's hilarious. Sorry about that. I just had to interject that idea.
I think that would be great. Put on a Dennis Rodman jersey, man. I have been sleeping with whores in Las Vegas.
Dude, my dick
Now,
hurts.
now I got a match with Eric Bischoff and Diamond
Yeah,
Dallas Page.
fucking Rodzilla, dude. And the Rodzilla era, I would have loved put on that NWO. This show could work for anything, Steve. Let's do it with wrestling. Let's get that
Yeah, man,
WWE on the fucking horn.
giving us some ideas, man. Been any
Oh yeah.
callbacks, canker sores, or takeaways?
Well, we've been doing it, and I've been celebrating Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody! But I just decided to just dig my hand into my little baseball card emporium that I've developed here. Just some randos, and I'm telling you, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 8 random cards, and I think all these are hitters in one way or the other. We're just gonna go rapid fire. I got a Dennis Rodman Pistons card.
Ooh,
Sorry. That's tight. And for the Cavs fans and all of us, I got a Mike Price card.
ooh. Mike Price is
Fucking
nice.
Robert Parrish, dude.
The Chief.
The Chief, dude. And this guy, I just like the look. I don't necessarily think he's a great player, but he's an ugly player, and I support that. Utah Jazz's own Mark Eaton.
Yo,
Looks
Mark Eaton he was a legend, bro. Like he was a part of those early Stockton Malone teams, and he was consistently like a leader in blocks. Before we had Mutombo, we had Mark Eaton. He was swatting people left and right. Cause I think he was an abnormally sized player. He wasn't like your typical 7 foot 7'1". He might have been like 7'2", 7. How
He
tall
was
was he?
7'4", Steve.
Seven.
Almost
Yeah.
300. God damn.
So he would have a lot of blocks where he's literally just standing underneath the rim, and like he would get his blocks like that a lot.
Dude, this motherfucker had in his rookie season 275 blocks, Steve. Back
Yeah.
in 82, 83, when we were just coming out of the veg. So
Mark
I
Eaton
guess
was a problem.
shout out Mark Eaton, Steve. I apologize to Mr. Eaton. I didn't know.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Moses Malone, Steve. Fucking
Moses Malone,
Moses. Hell
another
yeah.
legend.
And this was just another ugly guy. I don't think you're gonna have any facts on this. This guy's just wild look. Scotty Brooks.
Scotty Brooks, he was actually a part of the Rockets championship team, man. I think he was on both 93 and 94. Scotty Brooks, he was the coach for the Thunder when he had a young Kevin Durant, Westbrook, and James Harden. Man, he was the coach of those really good Thunder teams. So yeah, Scott Brooks, man, he's a champion,
he
NBA
supplied
champ.
he supplied, according to Fleer 90, he supplied a spark off the bench for the 76ers in 89-90 and finished second in three-pointers. So dude had a shot too, Steve. He could make it rain. And speaking of three-pointers, just a young Reggie Miller, just looking just
Oh
straight faded up, Steve. This is straight. He doesn't even have like the tight, like little zips in it. This is
nah,
young Reggie, Steve. This is
that's
three
fresh off the
years in.
porch.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
And then just one baseball one, legend Ozzie Smith,
Ozzie
looking
Smith.
kind of
Yeah,
young. He was in the game for a while. So I'm just saying those are random. So I think the next time you come here, I'm going to pay you in weed and beer and we're going to drink and just find the good cards out of here and try to make a bunch of money off of it and
you,
supply our podcast with some shit.
you don't have to pay me, man. Being my friend is enough. But
Oh,
all I got, man.
oh, okay. All right.
Uh, all I got, man, is two things, man. I want to say R.I.P. Before the end of the year, we lost Ricky Henderson and character actor Art Evans. Art Evans, he was actually in Die Hard 2. We actually talked about his squeaky voice. He's the squeaky voice, like yeah, little black guy. That's all in. He was in a lot of stuff.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah. All right.
He was in The Wiz. He was in various episodes of great sitcoms we watched in the '90s, and he was the dad on. He was Chris Rock's dad in CB4. So R.I.P. to both those
Oh,
legends.
damn.
Ricky Henderson was to me when I first started watching baseball like a superhero. He was like to me like a Michael Jordan kind of like baseball player to where like that's a actual human. Like how do you do? He's the all time leader in steals and like he had so many different methods of like stealing on first, stealing on second. Hell, I wouldn't be shocked if he stole home a couple times in his career, man. But bona fide legends, both of them. And I want to call attention to Missionary, the new Snoop album. Some time has passed since it came out, but that's great. I love Dre and Snoop getting back together. They never miss when they collab. And also Redman, he just dropped his last week, Muddy Waters 2. And these are two 90s legends still in deep in their bag, man. I always say like real artists, they age like fine wine. You don't get worse with time. If you're a real artist, man, you just pick up on a lot of things and you just keep giving back to the masses. So shout out to Snoop and Redman. But please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister to SRD. Check out Food Show Fanatics as well as Crushgasm and our guy Clark the Shark on Podcastle. This is Steve G and Mad G, but he just dropped his last week, Muddy Waters 2. And these are two 90s legends. Man, you just pick up on a lot of things and you just keep giving back to the masses. So
Bam.